Happy Friday, everyone. So, Pokemon video time, and excuse me, there we go. Pokemon video time. And this is a video detailing something that happened actually a little while ago, like a couple days, maybe almost a week ago. But it's only now recently being talked about. Well, not recently being talked about. A lot of people have been talking about it. People have done videos on it. I watched videos on it. Figured I'd give my take, seeing as this is actually legitimate news. So, the trademarking company for not necessarily for Pokemon, for Coral. Basically, they work with the company that does that makes Pokemon. They trademark a couple names for Pokemon, so as to not have legal issues, anything like that. Because if you're going to make Pokemon, you want to trademark the names and not have problems. So they trademarked technically 6 names, technically 7 names, but they trademarked 6 main names. 2 of them are believed to be legendaries, but we're not talking about those. Another one that we have no idea about. But then we have 3 that were named that many people are speculating to be the starter Pokemon for this new generation. And when looking at the names, looking at the translations of the names, which I tried using Google Translate for them, and I looked up the name, I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to go by what I've been hearing from people. They do seem to sound, at least, like the first stage evolutions you might get in this new generation. But what you can see the thumbnail art I used, which this is the first time I should actually say this. This is the art was done by Lucas Costa, DeviantArt. I'll put his DeviantArt in the description below. You can check it out. Actually, he's got some good stuff on there. So yeah, this is the first shout I've ever really done to someone, but I don't want to be. I'm not trying to steal anyone's image or design or anything like that. So I will have his DeviantArt account in the description below. So yeah, so obviously given by the art, you can tell how these have been translated. But looking actually at these is interesting because let's go just down the frame here. First one they looked at was, or first one we'll talk about is a Mokuro. This is all Japanese too. I'm certain that American names will be, or English names will be quite different. Mokuro, which a lot of people translated the Kuro to owl, and the Moku either to tree or wood. But Kuro can also be dark. So a lot of people are translating this right now into either a flying grass owl or a flying dark owl starter. Well, eventually the final form, obviously. Which would be interesting. However, if the idea that 1 or 2 different people have brought up is correct, then this might not end up being an owl. It might start off like an owl, but it will not end up being a owl. One second here. Where did I write down all my... Oh, no, I did write it down. Okay, so... because one of the theories about the grass stars, because people seem to speculate about the whole... what patterns they follow, is that their first form correlates into an animal that actually exists right now in some way, shape, or form, and then their final form correlates into an extinct animal. So, like, Venusaur, or Bulbasaur is like a toad, kind of, turns into a Venusaur, which turns into, like, this giant, a lot of people translate it into some sort of dinosaur. Chikorita is actually based off a pear, kind of reptilian, turns into a sauropod. Gecko, to Skeptile, kind of a raptor. Torterra is a giant, almost like an ankylosaurus kind of turtle. So forth and so on. Survivor, Titanoboa, all that. Chestnut is kind of based off an ancient armadillo. So you can see the correlations where they can follow. Well, my idea, theory, speculation here starts as an owl, but instead of turning into a flying type, it turns into the dark type, and it turns into a terror bird. Think about that for a second. We don't have anything that's based on that. We got Doduo, which is a roadrunner, more or less. Yeah, we got Doduo. We don't really have any flightless birds. In fact, I can't think. I've actually tried to look that up. I can't think of a design that's based off a bird Pokemon that's not a flying type. That'd be a new thing to do, actually, is make a bird design that does not fly. I think that'd be pretty cool. And a terror bird Pokemon? Fucking sign me up on that. As for the actual owl, Hawaii, as far as I know, does have owls, so that can fit in with that. Then we move on to the fire type, Nyabe. Now, Nyabe, or N-Y-A, Nyabe is the sound a cat makes, where it's Japanese for cat, something like that. B, a lot of people translate into fire. However, I actually did get something when I put it into translator that actually makes a little bit more sense, or maybe not a little more sense, but could make just as much sense. I believe it was BYI, is how people are spelling it right now, and it translated into day. So day, sun, fire, that's perfectly fine too. So what if this is not I mean, it's fire cat, obviously, but what if it is, and if we're going off the whole Chinese zodiac theory that the stars kind of seem to follow a little bit, or the exception maybe being Cyndaquil, it would turn into a tiger at some point, a day tiger. So what if it's not necessarily just flames and fire like that, but what if it's like kind of like a bright fire, like a fire fairy type or something like that? I think that because that would still follow the suit of a dark type for the grass, and then the fairy fire for that, and the corresponding weaknesses. Then we have Ashimari. Now, in terms of its actual design and type combination, I don't know. First off, I don't know if there's been any concrete theory of what the water starters kind of follow, but they're translating it right now into Ashiar. So it's something along the lines of Ashimar or something like that, which is sea lion. And Mari, which is either marine or ball. So ball seal, seal ball, seal marine. Basically, it's a seal starter, which I'm not certain if I would have preferred a dolphin starter. I think a lot of people might have preferred a dolphin starter just because they want a dolphin Pokemon more than a seal Pokemon. But in hindsight, all the creatures, all the Pokemon that you ever get as a starter can function on either land or sea. Well, in theory, if the fire starters could swim, they could function in land and the sea. So basically, they're able to walk on land. A seal can walk on land, a dolphin cannot. So it makes sense you would go with seal. But I mean, there's not saying we still won't see a dolphin Pokemon. We can still get a dolphin Pokemon. And again, this is not confirmed either. None of this is truly confirmed. This is just the stuff that's been trademarked right now. So these very well are probably Pokemon, but they might not be the starter Pokemon. Indeed, if they are the starter Pokemon, we might not be getting the names right, the meaning right, or even the designs or concepts right. So all of this is still speculatory. But it still is interesting to think about. Now, I went with this thumbnail because I've seen there's another one going around that I couldn't find right off the top of my head right now. Not top of my head. Couldn't find while searching the starter pages on the Google Images. But there's another different. Oh, there they are actually. Yeah, I can see them right now. This one you can go. I'm certain if you look up at someone else's Sun and Moon videos, you'll find these starters. But I honestly, I don't know if I were to compare them. I like the owl design for the one I found better. I think I like the cat design and the seal design though better in the other two. So it's a little hit and miss. But it doesn't mean I don't like these designs. I think the only one I actually don't like is the cat. Because and obviously these are just fan made, so nothing against Lucas Costa either. These are actually still really good. I'm not saying it's not a Pokemon. It looks like a Pokemon, but if I were to compare them to the three, I like the cat the least. I guess is the better way to put it. I like the owl the most because I usually pick the grass starter. The seal's not bad. The seal actually looks a bit more like it's got a polar bear head, to be honest. Whereas the other one it definitely looks like it's. It definitely looks more like a seal. Actually, it looks like a seal mixed with a flying fish in the other one, which is an interesting concept. But honestly, no. If I found out these are my starters, I'm like, all right, these aren't the worst stars. I like the owl the most. The owl, I think he put the most effort into. I'm not trying to label him. I think the most creativity was put into the owl. I think that's the best way. The other ones, honestly, the cat looks like it's from Monster Hunter, which is not terrible, but honestly, I'm trying to figure out what it's actually got around. Oh, that's its tail. Okay. It's wearing its tail almost like a bell or a sash. Okay, that's actually kind of cute. And the seal's cute, but it's got a bit of a polar bear, almost dog head. So, actually, that being said, Legend of Korra, polar bear seal, yes, no, maybe? I'm not saying nothing. but I'm saying something. I'm just saying. I'm not a huge fan of Legend of Korra, but, you know. Oh, no, that was a polar bear dog. No, darn it. So close. Now, I would be interested to see if he were to actually make the final evolutions of his fan art, what they would look like, and if I would be more inclined towards one or the other. But, yeah, it's interesting. Those are my thoughts on that. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As well as if you want us to review something, put in the comments below, let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. I'll have this up in a little while after I do one movie news today. And then I gotta go out. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a little bit.